Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Lynchburg. Here we gather in a spirit of freedom and friendship. Whoever you are, whatever your beliefs, whatever your age, whatever your gender identity, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we work together for justice, compassion, and peace, we also acknowledge with humility that our buildings sit on traditional Monacan land. I'm Terry Bailiff. Hopefully you all remember my name. It's been a while, but it's great to be back. I'm the contract minister of this congregation, and I share the ministry with all the members and friends of UUCL. If you're with us for the first time, we're glad you chose to be here this morning to participate in the service for this church community we love, and we have air conditioning this morning. We would be happy to tell you more about our community during virtual social time on Zoom or in person in Drysdale Hall following the service. If you'd like to receive our monthly newsletter and Friday email updates, you can fill out one of the yellow cards in the pocket on the back of the seat in front of you and drop it in the offering basket. If you're on Zoom, then you can just fill out the contact form found on the home page of our website, uulynchburg.org. You also may want to join our Facebook group. For those of you on Zoom, please note that the order of service is in the chat to the right of your screen if you're using a PC, and if you're on a phone, the link is at the bottom of your screen. A special welcome to Habitat for Humanity and their representative. We figured out, she was surprised that I knew how to pronounce her last name, so thank you for being here. And Habitat for Humanity is our Generosity Sunday recipient. It's wonderful to be together. So let's just take a moment for all of our roomies to say good morning to our Zoomies. Zoomies, please say good morning to our roomies. It's wonderful to be together across time and space. So I invite us now to just take a moment, take a couple of deep breaths, and release anything that keeps us from being fully present this morning. As we enter our time of worship, we light the flame of our chalice, sharing these words. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. Our opening words, okay. Flame malfunctions happen all the time. It goes from malfunction to blowtorch very quickly. Yay!
Our opening words this morning are by a 15th century Indian devotional mystic poet. Sounds like a great resume, doesn't it? A devotional mystic poet. His name is Kabir, was Kabir. You know that the seed is inside the horse chestnut tree. And inside the seed, there are the blossoms of the tree, and the chestnuts, and the shade. So inside the human body, there is the seed, and inside the seed, there is the human body again. Thinkers, listen, tell me what you know of that is not inside the soul. Take a pitcher full of water, set it down in the water. Now it has water inside as well as outside. We mustn't give it a name, lest silly people start talking again about the body and the soul. If you want the truth, I will tell you the truth. Listen to the secret sound, the real sound, which is inside you.
I invite us now to rise in body or spirit as we share together our opening hymn, 124, Be That Guide. And I'd like to invite those who are young at heart to join us up here. And Ellen's going to sit right here with us. It's nice to see everybody this morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been thinking about this week is how exciting and hard it is.
My sister's gonna go to her school tomorrow.
Thank you for saying that.
And after math, hers starts on Monday, mine starts on Tuesday.
Because you know what? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Because sometimes things that change seem really exciting. And sometimes they seem really scary. But you know, if things didn't change, we'd all still be wearing diapers.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, gross. Right.
I wear
I'm glad you wear undies. I wear undies too. Yeah, but you changed and you outgrew that and you knew how to wear big boys' pants. But you do have 100 bug bites on you. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Whether you've got 100 bug bites or one bug bite, you have to deal with it. Yeah. We are having a fun morning. You know what? When I was a little bit older than all of y'all, I was really scared. Like I would have been too scared to say anything in front of everybody. I would cry. I would. And so I decided, a lot of times change is really good even if you're scared.
Not
And
anymore.
so
She got really brave.
I learned how to speak in public. And sometimes I still get nervous, but I still go ahead and talk in public, sometimes more than people want me to. But have you ever had anything like that, Ellen?
I have, Terry, I have. Just a few months ago, actually last fall, I left a job. I was working for a university. And I had worked for that university a very, very, very too long time. And I didn't know when I left that university what I was going to be doing. I didn't know I was going to be with you all. I didn't know that I was going to be working with patients who need help at the end of their life. I didn't know any of that, and I was really, really nervous. I was worried that people weren't gonna like me. I was worried that I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never done anything like this before. It was really scary, and I just had to count on my friends and my family so that I could take that first step and leave my job so that I could do the next thing I'm supposed to do, which is to be with you all. You all are not scary anymore.
Yeah, I'm scared of one thing. Spiders on the wall, that's not nice.
Agreed. I would agree with you.
I like spiders on the wall, but I'm wondering, Courtney, is there something that happened to you that was like changing that
Yes.
was scary?
So when I was getting ready to go into 4th grade, I had to go to a brand new school, and it was completely different than the school that I used to go to. They did everything differently, and it made me feel very nervous to go to this new school. I didn't know any of the kids I was going to be going to school with, and I had to do things completely differently. And I am really lucky that I had a really nice teacher when I started 4th grade, and she helped me understand that things were so different, but that I could learn a different way of doing things. And that ended up being one of my favorite classes, but it was very, very scary in the beginning to try new things and to make new friends and to do things that were completely different from anything I had done in school before. It was a lot to learn.
So this week, as y'all start your new schools, just remember it's okay to be scared and nervous. And if you are, but if you are,
And I like scary stuff.
you like scary stuff. I'm not that brave. But if you do, okay. Well, if you do feel scared, you can talk to your parents or your teacher, and pretty soon you'll make new friends in your class. Okay, and then you'll get used to your classroom. Polly? Whoa. I'm glad you know 3 people, but you know what? By the end of the week, you'll know lots of people. So let's think about that as we get ready to go to our new schools or our new classes. So let's ask Ms. Courtney what y'all are going to do in class
Because
today.
upstairs in RE this morning, we're going to be talking a little bit about change there too, because our summer program is coming to an end. This is our last week of doing our summer of learning. And next week, we're all gonna be here in the front of the congregation so that we can tell all of these people what we've been doing this summer. And we're gonna show them some of the work we've created and talk about the things that we've learned. And then we'll be starting our fall curriculum in September. So those are some changes that are coming for us. So we're gonna be talking about that today. So while they're down here talking about big questions in life and how things change, we're going to be talking about that upstairs too.
So I would like us to sing them to their classes.
Thank you.
Each month we choose a charity, a nonprofit whose values are in keeping with our Unitarian Universalist values. And we're so glad today to hear about the work of Habitat for Humanity. So thank you so much. Thank you. Emily will get you the microphone.
All right, we're good. You can hear me? Is it working? All right. Good morning. Wonderful to see you all. My name is Catherine Giese. I am the Outreach and Volunteer Manager at Greater Lynchburg Habitat for Humanity. And what that means is that I get to have the most fun out of everybody on our staff. I get to tell stories, I get to meet our volunteers, our community partners like yourselves, and our future homeowners. So I get to see the impact of the work that we do on everybody who's involved with it. So the other thing I like to tell people is when I go out on the construction site, I'm the personality hire. So I'm not a gal that has a lot of comfort with a miter saw, but my knowledge gap when it comes to construction does not diminish my passion for a mission that builds a better world, a more just world, a more equitable world. So that is what Habitat is all about. Our mission is rooted in the simple yet profound belief that everybody deserves a safe, affordable place to call home. Amen? Amen. Thank you. And so the way we do that is through our homeownership program. We select applicants based on their need, and that can be, extreme cost burden, unaffordability, overcrowding, unsafe or hazardous conditions where they currently live, so that would qualify as a need, their ability to pay an affordable mortgage. A lot of people think that Habitat gives homes away. We do not. We consider our program a hand up versus a handout, and that makes it sustainable, and it empowers our homeowners to be independent, self-reliant going forward, build generational wealth, all of the good things that we want, right? The last thing is they partner with us. Oh, I forgot to mention, when we do sell the homes, it's for an affordable price and a zero interest mortgage. That's, in this economy, please, that's huge. So the last part is their willingness to partner with us. So they are an active participant in building their own home, as well as other homeowners' houses in our community. So it's really galvanizing and cultivating a community within the people in our program. They also go through homeownership classes where they receive the skills and resources that they need to be successful homeowners. So again, this is a program that has lasting impact, not only on the family that is there, you put a roof over somebody's head, that's great, but this truly does have a generational and community-wide impact. For families that have affordable housing, there's better educational outcomes, not only for their children, but for themselves. They have the margin to invest in their own education and things like that, as well as health outcomes are improved because they have the margin to go to the doctor when they need it, pay for their prescriptions, invest in better nutrition. So we see, again, this community generational impact of better educational outcomes, better health outcomes. I could go on and on forever. I promised Terry that I wouldn't. I'm a Habitat nerd. But what we're seeking today is your partnership with us. I know that we've been here several times in the past, and we so appreciate what your congregation is about and your emphasis on social justice and investing in our community this way. So very, very grateful. I have these, I scattered them around. If anybody needs another one or you didn't get one, come find me and I'll find one. But it just has a little bit of information for you to take with you about our mission, what our greatest needs are. As the volunteer manager, I would be remiss if I did not also mention volunteering. Calvin Lipscomb is in the other room. He is one of our regular volunteers. Shout out Calvin, we love him. So that's also a great way to partner with us. But today, we are really seeking donations. We just finished our 320th home, and with you donating to us, you can join this team of better world builders and help us build another 320 homes in Lynchburg. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And if you have time to stay for social time, I'm sure there are lots of folks who would like to ask you questions. And so we take an offering of our gifts for the ministry of this church, both inside our building and in the larger community, and also for the work of Habitat for Humanity. It is our tradition to share in this beloved spirit of life and love. We hold up this morning the blessing of community and the commitment of so many people and organizations like Habitat who make a profound difference in the lives and the futures of those who they touch. We're also aware today that there are many beloveds and people we don't even know of who are ill in mind, body, or spirit. May they find healing and wholeness. We give thanks for living in this amazing, beautiful part of the world, aware also of the power of nature to break down even as it builds up. for those who are living in the path of Hurricane Erin. We hold them in our hearts and hope that they have the least of the world's suffering. There is so much wonder and mystery in life. And we realize that change is part of our discovery about who we can become and what we need to let go of in our lives. May we do the work that we need to do to understand who we are more deeply and what we have to offer to the family of the earth. This we ask in the name of all that is sacred. Amen. Shall we go on up there? Oh, I got stuff to say for. Oh, okay, you want to say that down here. Okay, that's good.
I'd like to Okay. You're contagious.
I am.
Honestly. I'd like to set the container for our conversation today. And some of you have joined me in reading the book, How Then Shall We Live? This book here. It's written by a man whose name is Wayne Muller. How then shall we live? In his book, Muller offers four simple questions for contemplation. The four questions are, who am I? What do I love? How shall I live, knowing that I will die? And what is my gift to the family of the earth? Like I said, simple. Muller's invitation is to consider these questions as a vehicle for examining our soul, our spirit, our humanity, our sacred nature. In the process, we might encounter and bring to awareness the ways we embody identity, love, daily practice, and kindness. As the mystic Kabir writes in his poetry, we each embody our answers to these kinds of questions. We bring to awareness how we shall live, knowing all the while that our answers to these questions will change. We benefit from considering these questions alone and in community. When we know ourselves as well as we possibly can, we are presented with the gift of knowing our inner wisdom and strength. Who am I? What do I love? How shall I live knowing I will die? And what is my gift to the family of the earth?
We decided that we would sit up here because it'll be easier for folks to see us.
It's kind of like Edith Ann.
I know, it is.
I'm dating myself.
Okay, do we have a positive or negative attraction? So,
I think we're good. I don't know why we are, but we're.
you know, we've got these 4 questions, and there are a lot of ways in which Ellen and I are very similar in personality type, and darn it, we're both the 2 on the Enneagram. But we're also very different people. She grew up in Mexico City. I grew up on a gravel road in Mississippi. But we've still got to answer these questions, and where do these questions take us as individuals? So when Ellen graciously agreed to preach in July, I said, well, there's this book that talks about these 4 questions, and you might want to do a sermon series. And then I thought, I love this book. I love these questions. I'm not sure if I want to share it with Ellen, but I decided to be mature.
Generous.
Yeah, generous, mature, whatever. So at the end of this, I'm wondering, how do these questions sit with you? How does this experience, how have you engaged with this?
I found the practice of going deep with each of these questions each week during the month of July. I found the practice very instructive on a couple of levels. One is, as an academic, I read and I'm like, I gotta get, information and what have other people said about this and what's going on. And then, as I have to learn every day, it was beyond that an exploration of the heart. And to accept the invitation and to share with you all some very personal dimensions of who I am, what I love, how shall I live, and what's my gift to the family of the earth. And so it's really an invitation, this book, to consider how, for me, it was an invitation to consider, how do I self-reflect? And to what degree
Can Ellen
do
be a little
I
bit louder?
rely on everything from sacred text to self-help books to, any other source of external material where someone is sharing what they think. And to what degree do I invite myself to consider what's on my heart. So it was a really good, intense 4 weeks of practice. And then I took a nap.
Yay. Naps are always spiritually revealing.
100%. Sacred practice.
Yeah. So it's interesting that I've returned to my thinking about this book and these questions because I guess those questions are never really far from me. But I realized that I was coming at them in the last month from a very different place. And because I consider myself a universalist core, and that I believe in the interdependent web, move mic closer. Hello. And because I truly believe in the interdependent web of all being, then I have to think, how are these 4 questions rooted at the core? And I started to remember a concept that I learned from reading Bishop Tutu, because I read this stuff too. But the concept of Ubuntu, not the computer program or whatever that, but the African concept of I am because we are. And then I realized that the question of who I am to me feels like a question of leaving home, leaving family, so I can continue to individuate, become an independent being. And yet then, when I start considering what do I love, that pulls me back into relationship, into community. And then we come to the question of, how will I live knowing I will die? We love community, and community is essential, and we want people around us. But how we die is up to us. That's an individual event in the midst of a community, and it sort of feels like the whole concept of light. Light is particle, and light is wave. And at certain points in our life, we feel like we feel like we are individuals and alone, even though we're part of this, we're a particle, but we're part of this wave of life. So even when we're developing our understanding of who we are, we're still part of that interdependent web, that interdependent community that many of us are privileged to be part of. And then after we address the how will I live knowing I will die, what is my gift to the family of the earth brings us back full circle into who am I as part of the family of the earth? Who am I as part of this community? Because for me, thank you, for me, the essence of community is coming together and realizing that part of my being in a community is learning from each other. We all bring our unresolved issues into community. And so that interdependence for me feels much more like an an indigenous relationship, and I know you have some really strong feelings about that
Well,
that I agree with.
Terry, when you bring up Ubuntu, it brought up for me an awareness that I had reading Muller's work, this particular book, and that is that Muller is a white, cisgendered, male, hyper-educated author, philanthropist, and that these questions feel quite linear to me from a Northern Hemisphere, Western, white perspective. And it was really helpful to me to consider, to have that critique in the back of my head as I engaged with the questions and tried to use metaphor, analogy, use other ways to try to unpack this a wee bit. My question, I have a curiosity, and that is, if someone of a very different set of identities were to have written this book, would they have started the book with, "Who am I?" Would that phrase, first of all, it's in English, and that's a whole other layer of complexity, but would that author have started with, "Who am I?" And it's possible that that author wouldn't, and more like Ubuntu.
Yeah, it might have been, who are we?
Yes.
And who am I in this community?
Yes, yes. The other thing about taking the I out, capital I, out of the equation is that it shifts the focus, for me, it shifts the focus again from I to a broader set of possibilities. And it also takes some of the pressure off. You know, I'm like, oh gosh, I need to know what's the answer to this question, and I need to meditate every morning to figure it out, blah, 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 right? Don't go to seminary. Your life is different forever after you get told you have to do this work. You accept doing this work. So I think there's a way that sharing the question broadens the opportunities for understanding, for me. I also use metaphor, I use, as you do, nature very much speaks to my theologies and what I think. And I want to share with you a definition of heartwood. Anybody out there know what heartwood is? Awesome. You going to tell us?
No, you're going to tell us.
I'm going to tell you. Give me a word. What's heartwood? The center of the tree. It's a noun. The older, harder, non-living central wood of trees that is usually darker, denser, less permeable, and more durable than the surrounding sapwood. That's Merriam-Webster. Number 2, a teaching by the Buddha comparing the layers of a tree, the twigs, the leaves, the outer bark, the inner bark, the sapwood, to the spiritual discoveries that may distract a seeker before they come to realize the unshakable deliverance of mind or heartwood. 3, a reminder to embrace the inseparability of life and death. The growth rings and the heartwood are a message of wholeness. And I really appreciated, when we've been talking about this particular set of questions, you lifting up the idea of Ubuntu, the idea of that the final act in this body of dying, and the degree to which that's connected to our gift and what we leave after we've departed this plane. So that notion of there is, in fact, so-called dead wood in the middle, and as we grow and as we age and as we experience, there's these additional layers, and one can't survive without the other.
Because, yeah, what feels like it's dead is essential to the living.
Exactly.
And I want to go back to this concept of Western thought and Eastern thought and indigenous thought. Because this morning we talked with the kids about change and that it's scary and it sometimes takes courage. And answering these questions from a different perspective, or even considering a different perspective, can be very uncomfortable. Like, oh, I don't want to know this. I mean, there are times as a Unitarian Universalist, I say, darn, I wish I could accept fundamentalism. It's so much easier. I mean, you know, I just take what somebody else thinks, but that's not authentic for who I'm called to be.
Mm-hmm. So
these questions are hard and they're powerful, and we're going to keep working on them.
And they're an avenue for making friends with that fear. Accepting her, making friends, listening when, not just rolling over that fear, but like, what is this? And finding that courage, that wisdom, that growth that happens when you've punched through that uncomfortable, unfamiliar space. And the degree to which my theologies have been strengthened by that kind of exploration has been really important.
I remember sitting in a board meeting at a previous congregation, and I'd been there for 13 years, and I was sitting there, and suddenly I realized it was time for me to go. Freaked me out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It terrified me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew it was the right thing. It was time. I could have stayed, but I didn't think that it was healthy for them or me. So yeah, I thought about all of that, and then I went home and got in bed and pulled the covers over my head. You know, I mean, that's part of it too. One minute I was like, oh, I'm on the right track, this makes sense. And then the honoring of that cosmic sense of humor, which is incredibly warped.
Yeah, it is.
So not all of y'all know that I have this shelf of sacrilegious things that my beloved congregants have given me over the years, like believe in God instantly breath spray. So Ellen has now given me a dress-up Jesus magnet doll.
What would Jesus wear?
What would Jesus wear?
All kinds of outfits.
Yeah, there's tie-dye in there, folks. But I don't want to make light of the angst that comes with the kind of work that the spiritual life calls us to do, to live. And I'm wondering if, as we've explored these questions, if turned myself off. I'm wondering if there are any thoughts that bubbled up through considering some of these questions that folks might want to share for just a couple of minutes. One of the ones that I find difficult is, especially when I'm with someone who's coming to the end of their life, is what's my legacy? What's my gift? I like the word gift more than legacy, but I just breathed. I didn't turn it off. Oh. It's blinking. That must mean I need to quit talking. Anyway, yeah. I think what we're going to do now is, Ellen, I want to say thank you for being with us. And God bless her. She's working on the bylaws right now. She's a multi-talented person. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, this has been an incredible gift to us.
And a gift to me as well.
So we have one little gift. Also, there's a cake out in the social hall, so you need to go cut the cake. But also, we want to give you some little goodies and one of our chalice pendants that
Yay.
is made for us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
What would Jesus wear?
absolutely, or Buddha.
Yeah, a UU chalice. Just saying.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So we have appreciated so much you being here, and I know you're going to be around for a little while, and there's another gift that's coming your way. But, you know, I think it's, we have, low bat.
Low battery.
Yeah. You know, I had a friend who was, thank you. Here we are playing. So I had a friend years ago, as cell phones were just coming out, who had a ministry with Vietnamese boat people in the Atlanta area, and he was just getting used to his cell phone, which was, I don't know, probably a bag phone back then, and his phone was making a noise and it kept saying low bat. He thought it was one of the Vietnamese people that he was working with. He didn't realize it was his phone falling apart. But anyway, so in gratitude for you and your wonderful gifts, you actually selected this closing hymn, which I love. But it's a great sort of celebration of ministry and how you dance forwards and sideways and backwards. But we live in hope and love. Yeah. And so let's let it be a dance. And I'm going to give you your microphone back. Let's rise and body your spirit. Do not fall in the steps.
It be a dance we do. May I dance with you?
collaboratively. Yeah, she's gonna put the chalice out before we do our
that, that's
final. Yeah, I lost my place. Yeah.
You're always in the correct place.
Sin. As our service draws to a close, we extinguish the flame of our chalice as we say these words together. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we in our hearts until we are together again. And now it's time to say goodbye. Zoomies, can you say goodbye to the roomies? Roomies, say goodbye to the Zoomies. It's been great being together. Ellen and I work collaboratively, so we couldn't decide who was going to say the benediction because I had one I liked and she had one that she liked better. So you get two benedictions. So y'all are going to go out
Holier than
sanctified
thou.
and blessed.
The beloved is inside you and also inside me. You know the tree is hidden inside the seed. Let your arrogance go. None of us has gone far. Inside love, there is more power than we realize.
In words by Wayne Muller, the heart of most spiritual practices is simply this: remember who you are, remember what you love, remember what is sacred, remember what is true, remember that you will die and that this day is a gift. Remember how you wish to live. May it be so. Blessed be.